Hey guys, Sal with S&P here. Today we're going to go over rewrapping a harness, and I'm going to use some of this split loom that we carry. It's 540 degree wrap. It wraps all the way around 1.5 times. It is fully openable, so you don't have to draw all your wires through it. You can put it on after your harness is done. It's a nylon cloth braid. It's very flexible. It's very durable. It's abrasion resistant. It's engine bay rated. I use it to clean up a lot of our harnesses that we install in customer cars. It comes, well, I carry it in 5 sizes: 1 inch, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and 1/8 inch. The 1/8 inch is real nice for little single wire runs that you have to make. But the most, I use the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 most often. So what we've got here on the table is an original Mark 1, this would be a cabriolet headlight harness, and it was covered in this I think it's polyethylene tube, but it's really rigid and ugly and hard to form in the place that you want it to sit. It's definitely usually worn out and rotten on most of these cars. This one's actually in pretty decent shape, but I'm going to strip it. I need to remove a few things for the job that we're doing. I actually need to lengthen part of the headlight harness. This is going to get tucked into the fender well, so I'm going to do that. I'll probably just time lapse that just to keep you guys from falling asleep, and then I'll show you a few options on how to install it and the finished product. So when you're stripping a loom like this, I like to use a razor blade, a real sharp one. The downside to a real sharp one is it will cut through these wires faster than you can realize most of the time. So these nylon tubes are a lot bigger than the wires that are in them, so you got a little bit of room to work with. So trying to get yourself on a flat surface and and then all you're really wanting to do, I'll pinch that up just a little bit so that it's holding the wires in the bottom, and you are just trying to break in and not trying to bury the blade. So once you've got it split, you can see there's 6 wires in this thing, and it's probably 3/4 inch ID. So there's a little bit of room in there, but obviously you want to be careful. X-Acto knife would work fine. Like I said, I carry a box blade anyway, so this is just what I use. Get out here to the end. These ends are taped, so you get ready to cut it. You have just a hair bit more forgiveness, but like I said, you want to be careful. So I'm going to split the rest of this the whole way, and then we'll start checking the harness out, removing what we don't need, and going from there. Okay, so we've got our harness clean. I've removed most of what I don't want in it. I haven't lengthened it yet, but I'm going to show you. This is the 1/2 inch. Like I said, this is what I use the most. This one's getting a little frayed on the end because it's a demo piece, but start this on your harness, and when I extend mine, I'm going to pass everything through, so I'm not going to have to use it like a split loom. Anyway, I'm going to work this around. Just slide your thumb inside there and pass it over top of the other layer. And you've got a nice finished loom there. What I do when I come to a branch, let's move this out here in this branch, you'll see that this wants to pucker and looks terrible, honestly. So I take wherever my branch is going to be, I take my razor and I just split it about halfway down, and then put my cut in, my wires into the cut. Now it's laid down. To secure your wire, we sell a cloth tape, but you could use any kind of like a friction tape or even a vinyl tape if you wanted. But the cloth tape matches this pattern and sheen pretty well, so you don't see it. So I would end up taping on both sides of this wire here, and then now my outcropping is secure. You can then take a piece like this. This is the 1/4 inch. The smaller they get, the smaller you wish your fingers were, but work that in there. And again, just roll. Once you got it in halfway, just roll your thumb down the inside. The thing will jump right over there. So we would then take this piece and just slide it in a little bit. Now you're ready to tape and secure that branch. It looks nice. Like I said, it's abrasion resistant, it's heat resistant. It's good stuff. Okay guys, we're going to finish this harness up here. I finished one branch already. This other branch is almost done. I suggest you do your branches first. This is the tape I was telling you before that we sell along with this loom and everything else. So to finish up a branch, just wrap it up and make sure you bond each branch back to the main trunk. And I like to finish my tape wrap down where it's going to be covered. Less chance for it to unravel that way. There's two ways to finish these ends. One way I was going to show you, but I don't have, my super glue seems to be hardened up. You can actually take a piece of heat shrink and cut it if you don't want to depin these. Split it in half, lay it open, and then glue it back together with a slight overlap and then shrink it. It works real well for like I said, when you can't depin these things, or if you've got something you just can't unplug. You can't buy a heat shrink big enough to go over the plug and then shrink down onto your wires. So now that our branches are taped, we're ready just to lay the last bit on here. Okay, so here we are. We're all finished up. Harness is wrapped. Ends are taped. All your branches are taped. Like I said, this is a nice flexible loom, so instead of having a real rigid loom, if you had taped this whole thing with like a friction tape or even that cloth tape that we have, I like it real well, but if you end up wrapping the whole harness pretty tight with that, you get this rope of a harness and it's real hard to get routed where you want or get it to lay flat or things like that. So this is I think a pretty good solution. It's fairly reasonable. So we used we use 5 feet of the 1/2 inch and about 3 feet, maybe 4 feet of this 1/4 inch. And it's, both of those are less than $1.50 a foot. So you don't have a lot of money tied up in it. We'll get this installed on the car and then probably show a couple finished pictures.